So, hold on, let me get things situated here. This is a handheld job today. Look at this freaking mess. I'm trying to get this computer erased so I can put on the new software, the old software from the original discs that came with it. I had to buy them so I can get my new t-shirt printer working. So that's been an all-day affair. And I just finished printing some shirts. And I've got some time, so I figured I would turn on this little radio here. That's up for sale on eBay for $375, I believe. It's a nice little radio. Well, amp, because this one is a straight amp. It does not have Bluetooth.
I was rolling up in front of an old...
No Bluetooth on this one. It does have a pedal on the side.
Asking many questions?
And it's a delay pedal.
Well, there was nothing like fine...
Well, that, Roger.
Does it?
And a static cutter on the side. Battery on the back. But, anyway.
As though you were a crack.
Let me get the phone turned up here.
What happened then?
I like the way the phone tells me that listening to loud volumes is bad for my ears. And then it doesn't allow me to turn it up unless I agree with them. But it's up now.
Wagon, then I took off to the department.
So,
With me, sir.
what I want to do today is a little session here about the Mafia in the United States.
What they say.
Well, make yourself at home.
Now, the Mafia in the United States began in the 1870s and continues to this day.
Before it gets too dark.
Roger, can't...
And everybody knows the two spirits in my shop were a part of the Mafia.
And do it.
Go down this...
So what I'm going to do is just read a little bit here, and I just want to see what comes out on the box. Maybe Jasper and Lewis can come forward and tell us a story. So the American Mafia, an Italian-American organized crime network with operations in cities across the United States, particularly in New York and Chicago. They rose to power through its success in the illicit liquor trade during the 1920s Prohibition era. And
you sure you don't know?
And my friends here were around the 1930s. And the last time I did a session about the Prohibition era, they came through loud and clear. I think that was a big part of their business, was the alcohol.
So you take off your...
Jasper, Lewis, can you guys come forward?
The surface, the two robberies.
Who's here?
The victim, Lewis.
Lewis? The victim, Lewis. Why the victim?
Dropping on my boy.
Jumped.
You shouldn't.
There's only been one.
So, Lewis, was the alcohol a big thing for you guys in the 30s here?
Be worse. No victim. What do you mean?
How about gambling?
Uncovered the legs.
Was gambling big also?
Nenny am I? I must go... some worthless My wife?
Gambling, prostitution, alcohol. I mean, that's still what fuels most crime syndicates today.
Proof.
Maybe more so with drugs now these days, but that is your basis.
You mean each of us was...
So after Prohibition, the Mafia moved into other criminal ventures, from drug trafficking to illegal gambling, while also infiltrating labor unions and legitimate businesses
coming back from
such as construction and New York's garment industry.
Of all cigarette...
Hey. Is that why you guys like it here? Because I'm part of the garment industry?
But she probably threw it.
I'll sue you, Diamond.
The Mafia's violent crimes secret rituals and notorious
More long
characters
cigarette smokers.
such as Al Capone and John Gotti have fascinated the public and become a part of popular culture.
Cigarette?
Isn't it funny what's coming out here?
What do you say, Clint?
Cigarettes and
But your first puff will tell.
drugs and
How well can you swim?
how well can you swim? I can't swim too well with concrete shoes.
And then you're going to kill me.
Best of all, long cigarette.
I find this really interesting. What's coming out of this radio right now?
Mr. Waring,
Too punished.
Secret rituals and
Trial of robbery suspects, Mark.
notorious characters such as Al Capone and John Gotti have fascinated the public and become a part of popular culture. During the latter part of the 20th century, the government used anti-racketeering laws to convict high-ranking mobsters and weaken the Mafia. However, it remains in business to this day.
Out the main gate.
If you guys were living in this time period right now, would you still choose to be in the Mafia?
you had arthritis, Mr. Baker.
Say, Mr. Holliday?
So it became obvious.
Jasper, Lewis, would you still want to be in the Mafia if you were alive today?
You were in. I'll lead on with you.
Thank you.
Asked the
All right, let's turn on the rest here. Jasper, Lewis, are you still with me?
Oh, I know.
What?
I didn't have that part of the app turned on. I thought I did, but so let me ask one more time. Jasper, Lewis, would you guys still want to be in the Mafia if you were alive today?
If you have anything else, we'll have an explanation now.
Yes.
Holiday, aren't you?
Did you guys make good money being in the Mafia?
Save your
Slancy.
Yeah. How much did you make a week?
warrant. They explained to the judge there's threats on that.
So, let's see, 1930s, would $1,000 be a lot of money a week?
Hey, Judge.
And did some people,
he wouldn't move up.
like, did you and Jasper make different amounts of money? Did different people on different levels
Go now, Roger.
get paid differently?
Come on, Higgins, we made it.
Oh, yes, they did.
Come on, Higgins.
Were you a high-paid person, Lewis?
Really?
Jasper, were you highly paid?
Andre, why didn't you let...
And was Mr. B a pretty good boss to you guys?
Date.
Well, Mallory.
Yes. Okay, so during the 20s Prohibition era, when the 18th Amendment to the United States Constitution banned the sale, the manufacture, and transportation of alcoholic beverages, Italian-American gangs, along with other ethnic gangs, entered the booming bootleg liquor business and transformed themselves into sophisticated criminal enterprises, skilled at smuggling, money laundering, and bribing police and other public officials.
All of Carter's known friends, relatives.
What else we got? Sicilian mafioso Benito Mussolini, American Mafia. I'm just scamming through this a little.
Now,
The American Mafia gets organized. In the late 20s, a bloody power struggle known as the Castellammarese War broke out between the New York City's two biggest Italian-American criminal gangs. In 1931, after the faction led by Sicilian-born crime boss Salvatore Maranzano, 1886 to 1931, came out on top. He crowned himself as the Capo di Tutti Crapi. he crowned himself as the boss of all bosses. Did you guys know Salvatore Maranzano?
The joint south.
Want to smoke?
Yeah, thanks. Why didn't you go to the
In New York. He was from New York.
Thank you for listening to Mr. Play.
Unhappy with Maranzano's power grab, a rising mobster named Lucky Luciano from 1897 to 1962 was when he lived and died. He had him murdered that same year. Luciano then masterminded the formation of the central organization called the Commission to serve as sort of a national board of directors for the American Mafia, which by then consisted of at least 20 crime families across the country. New York, which had become America's organized crime capital, had been divided into 5 main mafia families. Everywhere else the mafia operated, there was just one crime family per city. What was the name of your crime family, guys? Lewis, Jasper, what was the name of your crime family?
Our story begins late night in the suburbs out.
There was just one crime family per city. The commission's role was to set policies and mediate disagreements among the families. Each of the 5 New York families received a vote on commissions when it was established, while the heads of the families in Chicago and Buffalo also got 1 vote each. So I think we're going to stop right here. I've got a few more paragraphs to go over, and we'll save that for tomorrow or the next day. I've been meaning to do something here with mafia-related stories, but I didn't want to cause a problem. I didn't want to start calling out old mob bosses and that are dead and have a problem here. So I was just trying to think to generalize it on how to talk about it and let these guys come forward if they want to. Is the way I'm doing this okay, you guys? Lewis, is the way that I'm presenting this okay? Lewis, that's not. Jasper, how are you doing? I hear you. You're okay? Well, I'm glad to hear you, my friend. Where have you been? Have you been hanging out at my house? Have you been there? I heard Lewis there a couple times. Are you guys getting along with Chris okay? Jasper, do you get along with Chris? Was that you, Chris? Chris, don't mess around with these guys. You know what they were, right? Jasper will shoot you. All right, you guys, we'll go over the rest of this tomorrow or the next day, okay? You have a good day. Yep, okay. Goodbye, you guys. See ya. All right, guys, that's it. My battery's about to die anyway.